Happy New Year everyone, welcome to 2018. And it's an interesting anime season really. It doesn't look like there's too much of great interest. There's a couple of great nice big shows coming up, but there's not a huge amount of interesting shows other than the sequels and the big shows which have been advertised a lot really. But seasons being seasons, I've got to go into it with an open eye, open mind, and watch every show which comes my way, and I'm going to share my views with you this season. So join me as I watch 4 new shows and tell you what I think of them. Because, you know what's coming up? It's time for the 2018 Winter Anime Preview, from a different perspective. The great thing about anime is it lets you watch stories about not only the mundane, but also the fantastical. You can learn about other worlds, watch giant robots fight each other, or put elves against orcs in an epic combat that will determine the fate of a world. A Place Further in the Universe, however, has a different kind of plot. A kind of ridiculous plot, really. It's about a bunch of schoolgirls who want to go out on an expedition to Antarctica. I can only imagine the face of the director when she was first told while giving her a cool new story to direct. And then learning what story is about the South Pole. Yeah, A Place Further in the Universe brings us into the life of Mari Tamaki. A kind of lazy schoolgirl, very much in the guise of Yui from K-On! She's always had dreams of doing something exciting with her life, but never actually got around to it. Her best friend Megumi is a sole lifeline in school. Like Yui and Norika, Mari is very much tied to the side of Megumi. She decides she's going to be a big girl and play hooky, but completely fails because it's raining and she's too fixed into normalcy. Everything is normal until one day she sees a girl drop an envelope as she runs for a train. She checks the envelope and it's yen. Not quite as impressive as £1,000,000, but I'd be taking £1,000,000 if I had it. But of course it'd be wrong to take it, so she tries to find its owner. And she has some interesting info to go on. She knows it was a beautiful girl with long black hair that smells nice, from a school. Cue scenes of Megumi running around smelling people's hair, whilst Mari actually accomplishes something. She finds a girl. The girl in question is Shirase Kabuchizawa, a mouthful of a name, an incredibly ambitious dream. She wants to go to Antarctica. Shirase is kind of nuts, but I kind of love her dream. There's a whole lot of promise in A Place Further from the Universe. It makes me think of K-On!, as I obviously compared it to her earlier. But it also has elements of a wonderful encouragement of climate also. And all presenting that same glossy watercolour style of Wandering Sun, or last year's excellent Tsukikakire. If you want a relaxing but fun diversion on a Tuesday, you can't go far wrong with this. It's a strong start to a season, and you can watch it over at Crunchyroll. I'm glad I ate before watching the next new shows this season. It's called Miss Koizumi Loves Ramen Noodles for a reason after all. But despite the title, our Miss Koizumi isn't in fact the main character. That honour is passed to a walking bag of energy with a cute girl radar that's always active, Yu Osawa. Yu's kind of obsessed with cute girls. I mean, who isn't, but she has her eyes drawn by the titular character Miss Koizumi one day, and she never looks back. Much to the dismay of her other friends of course, in particular the oh so adorable Misa Nakamura. I say she's adorable since, I forgot to mention that, she's going to get all pouty. Though maybe that's not such a bad thing, since a pouty Misa is also a cute Misa. That's a tongue twister. We do get a whole lot of pouty Misa in this first episode. That's not a huge positive either. She may have been trying to be cute, but she came across as shallow and kind of a bitch actually. There's also your other friend, Jun Takahashi. And I have to say, at this point she's not really done anything to stand out other than being with you and Misa. The show, however, is all about the 4th character. With long and flowing blonde hair, silky smooth skin, Koizumi would draw the eyes of anyone nearby, but a cold attitude and unwillingness to speak would turn them off any but the most devout followers of beauty. And that's where Yu comes in. She doesn't even give her a chance to escape, not that Koizumi is all too interested. To her, Yu is just an annoyance that is preventing her from enjoying her delicious ramen. She really does enjoy it too. The episode is 50% of Yu being ignored by Koizumi, and 50% Koizumi foodgasming over ramen. There's an ever-growing number of anime catering to a foodie crowd in recent years. I can only speculate that the popularity of shows like Food Wars has helped popularise the topic in recent years. And as a fan of both cookery shows and food girls, I for one welcome our new culinary overlords. You could visit a Church of Ramen on Crunchyroll. Some shows are easy to write interesting things about in a preview guide. The words flow freely onto paper, sharing experiences and events that have just been told. And other shows like Laid Back Camp, also known as Eurocamp, are harder to talk about. That's not because it's boring, however. As the name suggests, it's not in any kind of hurry to tell you to keep watching. We'll spend the first 5 minutes of the episode with a casual cycle up a hill, and the next 5 with some quiet camping. A whole lot of nothing exciting happens other than putting up a tent and gathering firewood in this time. And this is fine, because shows like Eurocamp don't need to be exciting or even catchy. They just need to be comfortable. And Eurocamp is one of the most comfy anime I've ever sat down and had a pleasure to watch. For those of you who watch some of my other videos, yep, shameless plug here, but bear with me. One of my favourite recent games is the VA11 Hall A Valhalla series. Watching Eurocamp gives me the same laid-back comfy feeling as playing those games. We're sitting back, enjoying the life of our main character as she goes about her normal life. It just happens to be involving camping in this case and bartending in a cyberpunk future in another. That's not to say Eurocamp is all comfy with no content. We are introduced to 2 main girls in this time out. There's a calm and collected Rin, a quiet girl who is a regular camper. She knows what needs to be done and how to do it. I expect a lot of her knowledge of series will come from her sage advice. There's also the airheaded cluelessness of Nadeshiko, a name that really does not fit her personality at all, but just cute all the same. Nadeshiko latches onto Rin when she saves her from the self-inflicted problems. Nadeshiko really wanted to see Mount Fuji as she was told it was on the 1,000-yen note, and so she decided to cycle to a base to see it for herself. Did I mention she was an airhead? There's a whole lot of comparison available between this and other shows. Obvious parallels between this and Encouragement of Climb are easy to make, but it also has the same Iyashike feeling as shows like Sketchbook, Tamiyora and Amanshu. If you know me at all, you know I'm going to recommend this one after comparing it to a Junichi Sado directed titles. But if you're in doubt, then do yourself a favour. Sit down with a mug of hot chocolate, some marshmallows, wrap yourself in a warm blanket and try not to fall into a blissful slumber as you watch this one. It's a really comfortable show, and it's airing on Crunchyroll. Oh dear. The first thing I see when watching Katana Maiden's Toji no Miko is an out-of-place CG millipede monster. That's not a great sign. Not only that, but it gets gradually more worrying. There are special forces grunts just standing in a line, just waiting to get mowed down by the beast. But just in the nick of a time, schoolgirls. Schoolgirls with swords. I can always tell this is going to be one of those terrible Chuny shows, isn't it? You know, the ones where normal girls are given superpowers and fight terrible CG monsters at night to protect the world from something that is sure to sound impressive when said by an announcer. I was really interested in this show, now not so much. And so we get into the main story. A sword fight between 2 girls in school. Apparently their schools tied to military academies. That's also not a great sign. Our lead girl Konami obviously wins, but at least it was to her friend Mai who was the opponent. So we get a quick introduction to both our leads. We're apparently going to some national tournament too. What is this, Saki with swords? Though, given the studio involved, maybe that's not too far from a mark at this point. We also get a first look at the other lead girl, Hiyori. She's an overly serious type who's clearly got her own agenda. I can't say being too friendly to begin with, but will mellow out over time to be a good partner for Konami. The set path for shows like this are so predictable, but I'm not sure we really need to watch it to get an idea for the plot. There's a whole lot of fan service and setup for a tournament. We can tell it's not a shonen tournament anime, and we're going to build up a tournament in a single episode. But I'm not exactly going to complain about the bath time service now, am I? And so, we reach a tournament, where we meet loads of girls who will probably appear later, but for now are only foreshadowed. I especially like the brash blonde girl and the oddball girl with cat ears and a comically oversized sword. But as you may expect, Konami and Hiyori end up in a final against each other. But instead of fighting, Yuri instead attacks a bigwig who's watching. With no idea what common sense is, Konami ends up helping him escape after failing the assassination attempt, and we're left with them escaping. For a show with so much visual appeal, the episode was a real letdown. I'm not sure I actually want to watch more of it, so unless you really like magical swordsman tuning shows or generic action shows, this is probably one worth doing clear of. If you really want to watch this one, you can do yourselves over at Crunchyroll. Well, that certainly was an interesting way to start the season, wasn't it? It started off quite well and then sort of tapered off at the end. Oh well, I suppose those are only the first 4 shows we've watched, so there's plenty of chance for them to improve, or get terribly worse as well. Hopefully the former. Join me next time we'll look at 4 more new shows this weekend. Until then, thank you very much for watching, have a wonderful day, bye bye.